The terrorist directive commands them to kill Christians and Jews, to kill all Americans, and make no distinctions among military and civilians, including women and children. This group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden, are linked to many other organizations in different countries. There are thousands of these terrorists in more than 60 countries. They are recruited from their own nations and neighborhoods and brought to camps in places like Afghanistan, where they are trained in the tactics of terror. They are sent back to their homes or sent to hide in countries around the world to plot evil and destruction. The United States respects the people of Afghanistan. After all, we are currently its largest source of humanitarian aid. They will hand over the terrorists, where they will share in their fate. The Taliban must act, and act immediately. These demands are not open to negotiation or discussion. Our enemy is a radical network of terrorists and every government that supports them. Our war on terror begins with Al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated.
At the time it was happening, you don't get the coverage, they keep it secret if they want to. The Afghani operation is the biggest one in the history of the CIA, and they managed to divert, biggest in every sense, including the fact the largest heroin smuggling ring left behind. And they managed to keep it from, not secret, but keep it from being a focal point of debate for the 6 major years that it was run.
I can change almost anything. But I can't change human nature.
Of course you must protect parts of New Utopia. What's one more body amongst foundations? What are you waiting for? Believe it. Do it!
Season of the witch, the night no one comes home.
You don't really know much about Hal.
It's a setup. I just have to wait.
Riots began because the stores.
Writing has been known to have an effect on us. You can forget about it.
Would not meet the demand of some in the mouth of madness.
Theory 2 months ago without faith.
I need to know if he's alive or dead.
Okay. Halloween night, the boogeyman attacks kids who don't believe.
Oh no, Tommy! Boogeyman's gonna get.
Season of the witch, the night no one comes home.
Is the boogeyman real? Why are you so obsessed with
Do what?
boogeyman, Tommy?
The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. Happy Halloween.
Season of the witch, the night no one comes home. Season of the witch, the night no one comes home.
Prophet of the printed page.
From both houses of Congress, saying just as clearly as we can that it's an attack on America and the President of the United States, and we are going to support the President.
And are you getting watch that?
Out of my way. People have to be told.
You know I can't let you do that.
Suddenly you discover humanity. Convenient. If you'd cared from the start, none of this would have happened.
Afghanistan is, they haven't published the figure. I've never been able to find anyone who confident, like the archives, National Security Archives, Scott Armstrong in Washington, a solid figure on how much they spent in Afghanistan, but it's in the billions.
And let's
Biggest in the history.
let's go into Afghanistan in some detail. I read in the New York Times just this morning that the Reagan administration was bragging that they refused to compromise with the Soviet Union to pull out their support for the Afghan rebels in exchange for the Soviets pulling out. So let's see who the U.S. actually was supporting in Afghanistan over the last years, what of the rebel forces, how they were supporting them, and what the effects of this have already been and might be as we now are moving to a new era for Afghanistan. There could be total chaos.
It looks like the Lebanization of Afghanistan by all these different groups.
First of all, there's all these different rebel groups. Who is the U.S. supporting?
Humanity's savage nature will inevitably lead to global annihilation. So in order to save this planet, I had to trick it. For the greatest practical joke in human history.
He sees you. He sees you. I have to. He wrote me this ring. I have to. He wrote me this ring.
For years, I thought I was making all this up.
But they were telling me what to write. See the instrument of their homecoming? It starts the change. Helps you see.
You are what I will. Go now. I can't hold them back any longer. You are what I will. Go now.
I think that it's probably wrong at this time to make statements that point the finger. We need to
This world.
You are what I will. Go now. I can't hold them back any longer.
The barriers will be down between the real and the unreal.
Writer Sutter Kane.
Meetings that we held, if suddenly there was a threat to the world from some other species.
The danger to our country is grave. The danger to our country is growing. The Iraqi regime possesses biological and chemical weapons. The Iraqi regime is building the facilities necessary to make more biological and chemical weapons. And according to the British government, the Iraqi regime could launch a biological or chemical attack in as little as 45 minutes after the order were given. The regime has long-standing and continuing ties to terrorist organizations, and there are al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq. The regime is seeking a nuclear bomb, and with fissile material could build one.
Minister Tony Blair, where hundreds of Muslims were kidnapped and taken to prisons all over the world with CIA private jets. The most famous of these prisons is Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, where at present prisoners are on a hunger strike. Some of them have been released and have documented their experience. But what many may find shocking and disturbing is the liaison between British intelligence MI6 and Libya's intelligence during the rendition, as revealed by classified documents via the 2011 Libyan invasion. But other countries, such as President Assad's Syria, was also a part of the rendition program. But now the West has turned on him by supplying radicals with high-tech weaponry, where sadly the United Nations are working alongside these men who have the Al-Qaeda flag on their uniform. Jordan, a US ally, also assisted, as investigative journalist Bob Woodward has confirmed. Jordan was providing fantastic intelligence cooperation and receiving millions in CIA covert action funds to assist in the roundup of suspected terrorists. Jordan was created by the British under Winston Churchill, and its current king Abdullah II was educated at Sandhurst Military in England. The head of Qatar, a Western ally, was also educated in Sandhurst, and the Prime Minister of Dubai was educated at Cambridge, also a US ally. Saudi Arabia was also partly created by the British, and is the only country in the world that is named after a family, the House of Saud. The British Royal Navy currently trains the Saudi Navy, but most of the entire military infrastructure was built by the United States. But as one book confirms, Muslims and their lands are only being used as trial runs and experiments for new weapons and laws they will implement all over the world. So-called sonic weapons, the long-range acoustic device, has been deployed widely in Iraq as well as in California and post-Katrina, New Orleans. Films are the best way to market these weapons,